Hello, everyone. Welcome to Commissioner and Carr. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, and I am coming to you I keep forgetting that around 5 o'clock it's going to be dark now. So I'm still doing these Commissioner and Cars at 5 o'clock. It's just a lot easier for me to do it after the normal workday, though I'm off this week technically from work. That doesn't mean I haven't stopped working, but that's a whole nother story. But we are now in that phase of Board of Elections where we're starting to get ready for 2022. And I want to go over what the Board of Elections is doing right now. And one of the things that people always told me when I got this job, they said, well, gee, you only have to work one day a year. Isn't that great? And they don't realize how much preparation goes into an election. And even though we are now certified with the post-election certification process, and we will have a little bit of downtime for the next 4 to 6 weeks in terms of not having major deadlines and trying to get things done, that doesn't mean that there isn't work to do. First thing that we have to do is that we have to catch up on all the registrations that we have that have been on hold since October 3rd-ish. Registrations that came in from DMV and other sources, because after 25 days before the election, we cannot process any registration forms. And so we can't do any processing of that until after the election is certified, which it is now. And so we have about 2 months worth of registration forms that we have to start catching up on. We also have to get ready for redistricting. We're waiting for lines from the state, the county, and the city on the new districts that will encompass, the county legislative, state and assembly and senate and congressional, as well as the city ward districts that are out there. So we will have to see what those lines look like in the few years. Also, in the next year or so, but those will start coming in. We thought we were going to have county lines coming in pretty quickly. However, the county exec did veto those maps. And so now we're in a kind of a limbo of where these maps are going to be drawn. People have asked, does that mean that the reapportionment commission that I am on is redrawing the lines? We simply don't know yet. I can tell you, as a member of that reapportionment commission, we've had no communication from from the office about what we should be doing at this point. And I've been talking to county legislators who are unsure as well, and we're hopeful that there will be some news on that in the next week or two. Of course, the county ledge could override the veto. They have a meeting scheduled on December 7th, their normal meeting. They could override the county exec veto, but since the plan only passed 9-8 when it was there last month, I doubt that that will happen. So then we'll have to see what they believe is the path forward. The county charter is actually quite silent on this. The county charter says that in the case that the reapportionment commission's maps fail and are and are defeated by the county legislature, it goes back to the reapportionment commission to draw the maps. It also says that if the voters defeat the maps in a referendum, it goes back to the reapportionment commission to draw new maps. What it doesn't say is what happens after a county exec vetoes. So whether it goes back to the reapportionment commission, or as some Republican county legislators have contended that they have the right to draw the map, I don't think is a question that is in either case on solid legal footing. I think we're going to have to see what the lawyers say about that. Whether it's there's some internal agreement or not. So we're waiting to hear, and as soon as I'll know, I'll let you know. But the county exec did, veto the maps wisely because they were illegal maps. And hopefully this will get people to understand that we should not be doing this in haste and rushing through this. We should be bringing in outside experts and helping us get the correct advice on these things. So the Board of Elections now is in a little bit of downtime. We're going to be processing those 2 months worth of voter registration forms. So that's gonna be the first thing that we have to do, because we have to get caught up by February 1st. Why February 1st? Well, February 1st is where we do what we call our enrollment data, and that will determine the signature requirements for the general election offices that are walking petitions next June. So we actually have to be pretty caught up by that point to be able to get proper enrollment data. Also, we have to run some elections. There are a couple of elections next year in March, and we are running the Fayetteville election, the Village of Fayetteville election. So the petition process on that actually kind of started Monday for partisan petitions, and for nonpartisan petitions will be in January. And so we'll be part of that process, getting that mini election done. We also have to start looking at buying new equipment, getting polling places locked down for next year. We have a lot of places where the leases are up, so we have to ask them if they'll continue. And we're still waiting on 2 big bills for Governor Hochul to sign that is going to determine what our workload is going to be like in the coming year. The first bill is the I don't even remember the name of it, but it was a GNRS bill that essentially expanded early voting. This would mean that we would have 10 early voting sites in Onondaga County and not 6. And then we're also waiting on the absentee canvass bill that will have the post-election canvass of absentees actually happen concurrent with the election that is happening. So if you vote by absentee, you will not be voting or you will not be able to vote in person, and will be able to canvass and open those ballots and have results on election night, as opposed to waiting 2 weeks after the election. So we're waiting for those 2 bills to be signed by Governor Hochul. We're hopeful. They were passed by large majorities in the both the Senate and the Assembly, so we're hopeful to see those get passed, and we can start working on whether we have to buy new equipment or other things. So those are 2 big bills that we're waiting on. And so while we're waiting for that, we're going to try to get caught up. We got people are starting to take vacations because, they saved up vacation time, and we usually have a moratorium on vacations after Labor Day. So now people are going to start taking vacation time. Of course, we have the holiday time. And, I would be remiss not to talk about the Omicron variant, or the Omicron, or it's several different ways of saying that. But the new variant that is out there for COVID-19, that is very scary. It is something that I hope will be taken seriously. I think it will be by the administration, but both the county and the state and federal administration seems to be taking it seriously. I'm personally myself have upgraded my family stock of masks to KN95 masks. I've been fine with just cloth masks because I've been trying to, we're all vaccinated, and the chance of spread amongst vaccinated individuals has always been small. But this new variant seems to have, at least the early indication seems to have a higher transmissibility rate. And so I've decided to upgrade our family mask supplies to KN95 masks, which provide a little bit of protection for myself, as opposed to just protecting other people from me as well. And I'm hopeful that that will, be addressed. And that we won't see a major uptick in COVID cases because of it. However, I remember when the Delta variant came into play, that was very scary and did cause major disruptions since the end of the summer, going into the fall. And as we're going into winter, as you know, we tend to go inside in central New York, which means higher transmissibility, higher likelihood of spread. We've recently received some bad news that some family members have who were vaccinated have contacted COVID, and we're praying for them and as they get through it. Hopefully they'll get through it without any complications. But we're not out of this, and I think it's silly to think that we would be. We need to keep vigilance. We need to mitigate as well as get vaccinated. Go out there, get your vaccination, get your booster. I myself have not gotten my booster yet. I've been eligible for a month, but my wife just turned eligible, and so we're going to go together sometime in the next week or so. Part of the reason I did not get my booster is because I was very busy with the election and couldn't take some time off to do it, but now I have this time and I'm going to do so. So please get your booster if you're eligible, and everyone is now eligible to get their booster. So I'm going to close this Commissioner in a Car with just letting you know that I've kind of taken it light on my social media stuff during November, focusing on the election and getting that done, and only doing these weekly Commissioner in a Cars. But starting next week, I will be ramping back up with my Zoom with Czarnys and my Wonky Wednesdays. The Wonky Wednesdays over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks will deal with post-election data. The first week we'll talk about turnout. The second week we'll talk about how early voting compared over the last few years. And then we'll talk about absentee balloting and how it compared with the last few years. And then the last one will be how Democrats fared in the November election. That will be to close out the year. I think people don't realize that we actually didn't do horribly in this last election. It was a kind of what I consider an even Steven election. Democrats picked up a couple seats, Republicans picked up a couple seats. Nothing really changed on some of the major elections, but there are places where Democrats can look for to be hopeful in the data. But first, let's take a look at that election data, see who turned out, how many turned out, and we'll do that. And then my Zoom and Czarnys will also resume next week. The first 2 weeks I have Jeff Weiss, who's one of the top redistricting efforts in the state. He'll be on talking about the state redistricting process, as well as what he sees happening in both the Onondaga County and the city of Syracuse. And then I will also have Susan Lerner of Common Cause, a friend of the pod, and she and I will be talking in the week of December 15th. Those will be dropping on Fridays in the new year, once a week. I'm not going to do twice a week unless I have to get candidates in before the November election. But considering that next year's elections are pretty, there's not as many candidates, we'll probably just do with the Zoom with Czarnys once a week on Fridays, and the Wonky Wednesdays once a week as well. And I'm looking for input about what you want me to dive into in these Wonky Wednesdays in the next year, because I've chewed on the data for towns and county ledge districts last year. That was the focus, because that was the elections were last year for that. But now, obviously, I will do some redistricting data analysis, probably comparing how the new districts look compared to the old districts. As soon as I get those from the state, county, and city. Sorry, I always get kind of tired when I'm doing these Commissioner in Cars when it's nighttime out, and I don't know what time it is. It could be midnight, it could be 1 a.m. Who knows? I love to see the sun again. That would be nice. But I'll also be going into the state Senate districts and assembly districts and the in any of the, there will be some town offices up. So we'll take a look at those towns that have offices up. I think Onondaga has some town offices up, and so does Manlius, that are special elections this year due to other elections. So we'll take a look at that in the next year as well. But I am looking for ideas of what you want to see, some election data that I can dive into and maybe write an article or two about. So if you have some ideas, shoot them my way. But for now, I hope you stay safe. I hope you continue to enjoy this holiday season. Please get your mask, wear it. If you can, get a KN95 mask. They're more available now than they were a year and a half ago. And protect your families. Get your vaccination. Get your booster. Fight this virus as much as we can. And think about becoming a poll worker in the next year. We need more poll workers. So sign up. We'll be doing training in the spring and getting ready for the June election, which will be a fun June primary where everybody's on the ballot and there's 100 candidates for governor, and we'll get more into that in the new year. So I'll see you next Tuesday. I'll do another Commissioner in a Car. Maybe we'll have some answers on where redistricting is by that point. And then I'll be back into the Wonky Wednesdays and Zoom and Czarnys. You take care. Be safe. Bye-bye.